Something I'm ashamed to admit is I operated several years without any kind of strategic plan at all. I would just come to work, do what I had to do, and without much thought of where I was going, what the plan was, and where I wanted to land. And then one day I was fortunate enough to come across a mentor, a person who was extremely successful in practice, who challenged everything that I thought about how to run a practice. And through him, or with him I should say, I learned that it was important that every year I stop, think, and develop a strategic plan on where I wanted to go and what I wanted to do for the next 12 months. I think it's important that every practitioner take a time every year to plan. And things they need to think about in the strategic plan are such things such as marketing. What are we going to do to improve the marketing of our practice? Things like, are we going to need to hire more people this year? And if so, where are we going to sit them all? So in other words, does our office space allow for all of these new people we plan on hiring over the next year or two? Things like equipment. Do we need to buy more equipment or replace some of the equipment? And the same applies for software. Also, one of the things that I think is important that you stop and think about at least once a year is the culture of your firm. Are your employees excited to come to work every day? Are they motivated? Are they productive? And if not, how do you correct that? And of course, part of running a good practice is thinking about the fees you're going to charge. So once a year, I think it's a good idea to revisit the fees that you're charging for the different services that you offer, and to some degree, possibly client by client. And the final part of a good strategic plan, of course, is having projections. Once you've given some serious thought about all the things you're going to undertake in the next 12 months, is to come up with financial projections. What do you project in having by way of revenues and expenses so you can determine what your profits are going to be? I think there's tremendous truth to the saying that if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So it's important that you take time to plan your future for the next 12 months and to some degree for the next 3 years. I created a presentation exactly for that purpose, to help you come up with a strategic plan for the next 12 months, because it's something that I've refined over the years on how to do that well. And I found that it took me years to master that skill set. So why not join me in that presentation on how to develop a better strategic plan?